Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. All right, y'all. All right, now look, today we here with another video, right? And this video is very, very interesting, right? I don't think we've talked much about Drake on my channel. You know, we've talked about him a couple of times, but this video is gonna like hit on a couple different points, right? I was watching the recent Jaguar Wright interview, you know, on the channel that she always goes on. I think it's called Real Life Street Stars, and they have a lot of good interviews, especially, you know, Jaguar Wright being like their main go-to for the channel, right? So a lot of people are like changing their minds about Jaguar Wright, you know, since she went on Piers Morgan, and in a sense it kind of stamped her validity a little bit more, right? Because a lot of people was like, oh, she just talks, she's this and that, you know, don't provide receipts. But now she goes on, so now she goes on the Uncensored show with Piers Morgan. I think it's based out of the UK, and it gets a lot more, you know, mainstream attention. It even got Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyer to send out a cease and desist on what she said about them, right? So she shook up a few nerves there. This video isn't necessarily about that interview she did, although we could make a video on that. But that was kind of like the big, you know, news about it, was that Piers Morgan edited. And then, of course, Vlad TV followed up, and he called her a conspiracy theorist and all of that. But I think the big thing was that she got Jay-Z and Beyonce to basically react, right? And she's been talking about Jay-Z for a very long time, that he's no different from Diddy. So in this clip that I want to show y'all, she touched on a couple of different things that were about Drake being groomed, XXX. And she also, which to my surprise, she was talking about Kendrick Lamar, TDE, Ab-Soul, and Alori Joy, which was Ab-Soul's like love, his girlfriend that basically unalived herself. Now, if y'all remember, I'll put it up on the screen. I think I might have been the first channel to do a video about Alori Joy. To my knowledge, I've never seen anyone do a video on her, and I did it like over 2 years ago. So I was really surprised, and that's what made me want to jump to do this video and talk about Drake and a little bit of Lucian and Grainge as well, right? When she brought up Alori Joy, I was just like, oh wow, yeah, I gotta go ahead and react to this and do a video, right? So look, real quick, we're gonna check out this clip. It's about 5-6 minutes long, right? Then we're gonna come back and talk about a couple of the points that she went in on in this clip, all right? Check this out.
Sean Carter, that you promised the South that the next time the Super Bowl came through, it would be a Louisiana affair. And then when Diddy goes and gets into trouble and you need to convince the white people you're still in control, you bring Kendrick Lamar, who we already know you don't like for the way he embarrassed you on Don't Kill My Vibe, the remix. But we also know you got ties in TDE, Sean Carter, and you got a switch on top. I know that. I know that for a fact. Just like why you keep having artists that want to jump off of high places. Shout out to Ab-Soul.
Oh.
What was her name? Alori Joe?
Oh.
That woman threw herself from a control tower and impaled herself with spikes right before she was about to sign the TDE. And her fiance, Ab-Soul, threw himself off the freeway out of grief and survived.
Mm-hmm.
Why are all of the artists at TDE so unhappy? You got some of the best artists in the West there. Why did Kendrick Lamar feel the need to leave and start his own? And why is he able to release more records now that he's not at TDE?
So
interesting.
Let me ask you, as you're on this topic.
I'll tell you one thing, Curtis Jackson, you are a setup king. And I promise you this, any little nigga that you're enlisting to go down to New Orleans and start trouble during the Super Bowl, that will stop. That will stop. I'm sick and tired of you. And the truth is, they only like you for your money.
So let me ask you, Jack, on a surface level, you're saying that Kendrick being in the Super Bowl versus, let's say, Wayne, which was like a shoe-in for the city, that in the background, and again, we talked about the mayor, it's a lot more to it than just as simple as, oh, Kendrick's he had a great year.
Social engineering, creating an issue that didn't need to be an issue.
I hear that. Like Hunger Games, like.
Very Hunger Games. Life imitates art. Art imitates life. I'll tell you one thing, it's been almost 30 years since Biggie and Tupac were taken from us. That was social engineering at its finest. It got people in line, didn't it?
Without question.
Now you think about Drake right now, and you think about Kendrick Lamar. That's looking about the same as Biggie, Kendrick. Biggie, Kendrick, Tupac, Drake. Think about the comparisons.
Yep.
Imagine. Be a gangster playing. Imagine.
Comparisons.
If the same fate that befell Biggie and Tupac happened to Drake and Kendrick.
Just imagine.
And as messy as Drake is right now, I can almost bet that there's somebody that wants to turn his faucet off. Because if y'all think Diddy is a mess, Drake, he was being groomed to be next in line, see. What happens when the real details of what happened to Triple X come out?
All right, just a real quick recap on the death of Lori Joe, right? Says authorities Wednesday said the woman found dead at the base of a radio transmission tower in the unincorporated Rancho Dominguez area near Compton apparently unalived herself by jumping from the structure. Deputies were called to the 2200 block of University Drive at 4:38 p.m. Monday. The woman, now identified as Loriana Johnson, died at the scene. Johnson was 25 years old, and she was an aspiring recording artist better known as Lori Joe, a West Coast native who worked alongside some of the top dog entertainment's rising artists, including Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, and Ab Soul. Now, this is Ab Soul, and this was the cover of his album, Do It Thou Wilt. Now, you automatically have to know that Kendrick Lamar and TDE, they blew up, you can say, off of the sacrifice of Lori Joy. I don't believe for 1 minute she just mysteriously decided to, unalive herself in the fashion that she did. And like Jaguar Wright said, resulted in Ab Soul trying to unalive himself as well. He jumped 50 feet off a bridge in Carson, California, onto the highway. I think he might have broke his femur, his foot. He didn't suffer any brain damage, but he survived. He woke up in the hospital, and he tried to end it all. And he doesn't give a reason on why he did it, but I think it's safe to say because of the industry, because of that demonic energy. The rituals he's been a part of, especially when it all started with his girlfriend being sacrificed for fortune and fame, for TDE, Kendrick Lamar, and so on. Everybody pays a price. Like I said in the beginning, this is the album cover of Do What Thou Wilt. We know that is Aleister Crowley's teaching, and Ab-Soul is on record. He's in interviews talking about Aleister Crowley and how he is damn near a follower of the religion of Thelema. And he likes the work and words of Aleister Crowley. And, you know, he digests his information, his rituals. Even, what's the guy, Daylight? He said Ab-Soul likes to be in the dark when he's recording. That he got mad at him when he cut the lights on one time. Like Daylight had talked about when he was in a session with Ab-Soul. He said that he was basically doing a ritual before he recorded the music.
I witnessed some shit that wasn't human. This nigga ain't gonna tell y'all, but I'm gonna tell y'all. I witnessed some shit that wasn't human. Shit had me fucked up. Alright, so Soul recording, they playing the beat. My man Soul went and sat outside on the porch with his head down. So I asked my other guy, I used to hoop, the dude that was recording, I used to hoop with him back in college. So I'm like, yo, what's up with Soul? He good? He like, what you mean? Because he was like, you don't know how he record? I'm like, nah, like, I'm asking him, like, yo, he looked like he's sad or something. I don't know what's going on. Soul was sitting on the porch with his head down. He sat on the porch for about 10 minutes and didn't say a word. Right? I'm looking, I'm like, hey man, I don't know what, this is my first time in some industry type shit. I'm like, I don't know, man. You niggas up to some Illuminati type shit. I don't know. That nigga Soul got up and said, hey, start the verse. Nigga went in there and one take that shit. I said, oh my God. What the fuck? What the fuck? Bro, the nigga ain't had no pen, no paper, no cell phone, no nothing. No pen, no paper, no cell phone, no absolutely nothing. Head down, stood up and said, start that. At that moment, oh shit, this nigga's a demigod, oh shit. I went home fucked up. I called the homie, I was like, hey, this nigga's so magical. Oh God. this nigga might really be a prophet, for real. Who the fuck you was talking to when you was sitting down? Nigga say, hey Horace, man, let me hold the 16. Oh, hey, so you gonna have to tell me where you be going, dog. Hey, what if I think my nigga Soul be doing the Doctor Strange thing, when Doctor Strange jump out his body, like his consciousness thing jump out his body. That nigga said, whoo. Yeah, let me go write this verse real quick, you feel me? And then, oh God. Yo. Shit had, bro, I'm keeping it all the way 4,000 with y'all. Shit had my mind blown. And every time I'm in the lab with Soul, it's the same thing. That nigga be like, yo, cut them lights off. Last time I was at the studio with Soul was laying on the couch. It was completely dark, laying on the couch. Soul, you up? He said, I'm good, Quill. Yo, cut that light down a little bit. Mind you, he got on shades, so I couldn't tell if my nigga was asleep or not. My nigga was quiet for about 15 minutes. That nigga hopped off the couch, went in the booth, and did the whole record, hook and everything. I said, oh, shit. Yo, this nigga got the cheat code. Woosah, look at that. My nigga Soul really, yo, I'm telling you, my man be tapping in with the ancestors. Oh, God. Solo the Prophet. I said, oh, my God, man. I remember one time I tried to do it. I was in the studio with Punch and them. I tried to do it, right? Punch was like, hey, you got something for this? So I was like, let me try this little soul method thing. And I was just sitting there, right? I was trying to go to that other world that Soul be going to. Oh, God. I got to the gate. They said, who are you here to see? You know, so, oh, it's the thing. Remember the thing where T'Challa go to talk to his father? Soul be going to that world, oh, God. The little T'Challa thing where his father lived, where the dead people at, oh, God, Soul be going to that thing.
And I went in on all of this stuff in the Lori Joe's sacrifice video. We really dug into all of this information, you know, especially all the occult ties that Ab-Soul has and TDE, right? Now, I can link that in the description of this video because I don't want to use this entire video to go back down, you know, that lane. But that's basically the gist of that video. You know, Ab-Soul was heavily involved in the teachings of Aleister Crowley. So that already gives us a clue on what happened to his girlfriend and then the attempt he had on his own life that was done by himself. You know, maybe mentally he just couldn't take it. Now, what I also want to get into in this video from that clip with Jaguar Wright, you know, she was going back and forth about the whole Kendrick Drake thing possibly being like, you know, social engineering in a way to kind of shake up the industry and maybe get Drake off the top, almost relating it to Tupac and Biggie, you know, in a sense. You know, I don't think y'all have to take that so literal, but, you know, maybe behind the scenes, there's a shakeup going on where they're trying to rid the control that Drake has had on the industry for the last decade, right? He's the biggest artist in the world. Now, one thing you got to take notice of what she said Drake was being groomed. In another part of that same interview, you know, she mentioned the rumors about him and Millie Bobby Brown and things that we may not know about that never really reached the internet. But, you know, people talk about when Drake kissed a 17, 16-year-old girl on stage. A lot of stuff that was questionable about Drake, we've talked about on the channel. I think we did it a couple videos back, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, right? So what really made me start searching things up when she said Drake is being groomed, it made me think about Lucian Grainge, right? Lucian Grainge is the head CEO of Universal Music Group. We all know Universal Music Group runs the entire industry. And for the second half of this video, that's what I want to get into. We're going to get into Lucian Grainge and Drake. Basically, Lucian Grainge to Drake is what Jimmy Iovine was to Dr. Dre. Is what Diddy, I guess, kind of was to Biggie. You know, goes back to that song, Stay Scheming with Rick Ross, French Montana, and Drake. And Drake was like, tell Lucian, I said, fuck it, I'm tearing holes in my budget. You know what I'm saying? So basically, Drake has a blank check when it comes to Lucian Grainge and UMG. I think Drake is under Republic, which also has Taylor Swift, Post Malone, The Weeknd, and Drake. And the parent company of Republic is UMG, Universal Music Group. They literally have the biggest artists in the world under one umbrella. And that's not all. This also goes back to XXX as well. He also had ties to UMG through Caroline Division, who produced and distributed one of XXX's albums. So all of this stuff is linked back to UMG, the powerful conglomerate in the music industry, right? So before we continue going on and on about that, I want y'all to check out this clip. A lot of y'all may remember this. Kanye West did an interview with Justin LaBoy, and he talked about Lucian Grainge being Drake's rich baby daddy. So we're going to check this clip out, and we're going to come back and go down this rabbit hole a little bit more. Check this out.
It's like they always pick somebody from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. I was born in Atlanta.
Right.
Whatever, you know.
How did that even happen, though? Like, yeah. I mean, before we even get into what happened, who is Lucian Grainge? Like, who is he? Because people don't know who he is, and I feel like you have to be higher up to know exactly who he is, and you've got to that level.
He's still higher. He's still a hired gun. He's just like a nigga handler. Like, he just control like Universal. He run it for him, but he ain't no overboss or nothing like
so
that.
He not no billionaire nigga like Ye.
Yeah, I mean, but, yeah, but he
like
got a billion. You know what I'm saying? His money is like infinite. It's just it's a form of energy. It's a tool and shit. You know.
But what is it specifically about Drake that everyone hates? I just have to know that, because it's like for everybody, all of the great Weeknd, Pluto, Metro, Ross, Kendrick,
Yeah.
like there's something obviously wrong with this one individual that no one wants to speak about, and I feel like you're the only person that's gonna really put it out there.
How you say rich baby daddy? It's like Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian.
So all of his streams in the number ones is controlled by someone named Lucian.
Or Lucian worked for people who control the banks in Africa, who keep, Now
y'all heard it right out of Kanye's mouth. He said Lucian is Drake's rich baby daddy. He's a handler. And in specific, he said he is a black man handler. They always choose someone from Atlanta or hottest coming up, and that's mostly how it goes, how these artists are used and promoted and chosen, so to speak. But I guess it's safe to assume that, if Lucian Grainge is your handler, then, you're at the top of the mountain, so to speak, That's why I said Drake obviously has like a blank check with this guy, for an unlimited amount of money. When dude was glazing Kanye like, oh, he ain't no billionaire like Ye, Kanye was like, nah, man, he got billions. He got like unlimited money. It's a tool. It's a form of energy for him. And I thought that was real interesting that he would say, the money is a form of energy, because, Kanye is a smart guy, and I thought it was just very interesting how he chose to word that, because in a sense, that's exactly what money is. That's why people say money is the root of all evil, because at the end of the day, it is used as a form of energy. If it can make someone go out and rob and kill somebody for it, or it can come into your life and make you happy and do certain things, that's a ball of energy. Either way you want to use it, either way you want to allocate that money, or so I thought that was really interesting, the way that he chose to word that. And in that industry, money is definitely energy. It's definitely a tool of control. That's probably something we don't even have to explain, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And even if we go back to Jaguar Wright talking about the real truth coming out behind XXX death that had to do with Drake, I would imagine that was along the line of the same thing. We've dug deep into that story, but I don't think we quite hit the truth on the involvement of the industry. We just dug into XXX side, praying to that goddess Hecate, or, if that's how you pronounce it, and doing those rituals that he was taking part of with the Baphomet and stuff. We dug into that, but we never really got the industry side, because we haven't found out that truth yet. All we got is that screenshot on X's story that said, if something happened to me, Champagne Poppy did it. And that, even if he said he was trolling or whatever, you can't dismiss that. Drake was definitely involved in the death of XXX. And it may not have been so simple. It may not have been because, he stole his flow and he went in on his mom. It may not be that simple. Or it could be. You know what I'm saying? But I think behind closed doors, X was pulled out, right at the peak of him blowing up for a reason. And I believe money and these labels had a lot to do with it as well. I definitely believe that story is a lot deeper than we know. And obviously Jaguar Wright feels the same thing, because she wouldn't just be like, you know, wait till the real truth comes out about XXX's death with Drake. And she may not know the real truth, but she knows it was something bigger than him just randomly being robbed, you know, the day he decides to pull out $50,000 to go buy this motorcycle. You know, all of this stuff is a lot bigger than we actually know. And there's no way I could believe any different. And it's the same with Drake. You know, to not believe or not, you know, think that these guys who seem like they're clean, unscathed, to not believe that they don't have things, you know, in their closet, skeletons in their closet, it would be the most furthest from the truth, you know. And not for 1 second do I believe, you know, Drake isn't amongst the dirty ones in the industry, especially when you have somebody like Lucian Grainge that backs you and that much control over the industry. Then also, Lucian Grainge has his son, I think his name is Elliot Grainge. He's the one responsible for 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd when they blew up. His label is called 10K Projects. And that's also, if I'm not mistaken, obviously under UMG. And now they just basically sign a bunch of young artists. I think they got Ice Spice as well. And I think Ice Spice is also involved with Capitol Records too, who had a hand in XXX's last days as well. So, you know, this industry stuff is all tied together at the end of the day, man. And this guy Lucian is definitely at the top. Even that name reminds me of Empire. Reminds you of Lucifer. You know, it's just, it's too close. It's too close to that wicked game that they all play. And yeah, man, I thought this would be a good clip to react to. There's actually something else I wanted to react to from that interview as well. So I might do that video because it definitely was interesting. That interview she did, the whole thing was pretty interesting. Y'all definitely could go check it out if y'all want to. It's on Real Life Street Stars YouTube channel. And yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. Kind of a different topic as far as, you know, at least most of it being on Drake. Things that we haven't talked about with Lucian Grainge and Universal Music Group. All right. So yeah, man. With that being said, y'all, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. I'm out.